right, good evening and welcome to Back to School. My name is Mr. Beatty. I teach pre-calculus and geometry. This is my 15th year here at Pencrest and loving every moment of it. Tonight I'm going to lead you through a couple things. First, my philosophy, some class procedures, a normal day, routines in class, and then some contact information if you want to reach out. So my philosophy is I really want to teach through understanding. So to teach math based upon rules and memorization is, maybe I think where sometimes the bad experiences in a math class come from because you feel like you're trying to learn um, all of these things right before a test or a quiz, and then all of a sudden it's out the window. So I try to teach in a different way where I help the students understand why something is what it is. Or if they ask a question, I try to answer it in such a way where they could have figured out the answer themselves by doing a little bit of legwork. So I really try and push that. And the other big driver in my class is I want my students to be accountable and responsible. So I want them to be the one to reach out to me if they have a question on the material or otherwise. Um, Not that I don't want to hear from parents. I love hearing from parents um, because, I mean, ultimately, a student's success, a large part of it comes from what the parental influence is. Um, but ultimately, they're in high school. I want to see them grow. I want to see them um, reach out to me, and we might as well, have that conversation together because the answer is in between teacher and student, um, and that's where it should be. So. Um, Normal day in my class, students will review whatever short-term assignment or long-term assignment I've given them. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Um, I'll check homework if I need to. Most of the times, I'm going to have them submit their homework on Schoology. But if I do have them just show it to me in class, I'll spend the beginning part of class doing that. Um, we'll go over a new lesson, whatever that may be, and then I like to definitely work in practice time. I understand that the window of being able to comprehend and take in direct instruction is short, and it has a direct correlation to age, right? Like if you're 14 years old, you probably have about a 14-minute um, ability to just lock in to some direct instruction. So I'd like to change it up, make sure that we have some practice time, make sure that we have some activities, and always sort of like doing that kind of differentiation. Um, and then I'll assign homework. I do like to assign homework. I think practice is paramount. I don't think that you need a ton of practice. I do think you need regular practice. General class procedures. So I always post my homework on Schoology, and if for whatever reason Mr. Beatty is being absent-minded that day, which happens frequently, students will just email me, and I'll be very flexible with timelines. Um, and I think that my last year students could attest to that, being that we were all virtual. There was those occasions happened. Updated grades you can find on my Schoology page in the Schoology gradebook. That's the best place to look. Do not look in TAC. It's just not as updated because it starts in Schoology and then it goes to TAC. So look in Schoology. Tests and quizzes. I do total points earned out of total points possible. Tests and quizzes based upon how much material is covered. That's how much I will make the test or the quiz. But for the most part, tests are about double what a quiz is. Um, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like I have some small quizzes and I have some big quizzes, so I'm not going to lay a certain point value on quizzes always. It is dependent upon how much material is covered. Absences. If a student is absent, they'll see a blank space in Schoology based upon what assignment they didn't submit. So they just submit it, and all is well. Um, I do have a policy that they will have the number of days they're absent to make up the missed material. So if they're out for 3 days, then they have 3 days to make up the material. Um, I will be um, much more attuned to that this year than I was during the pandemic year. Pandemic year, things were a lot more flexible. This year, we're going to be a lot more, I don't want to say strict, but a lot more attuned to um, keeping deadlines and making sure that we hand in things on time. So, honors pre-calculus. So, in honors pre-calc, they'll see short-term and long-term assignments. They'll see short-term assignments where they turn them in the next day, submit through Schoology. Long-term, they're due every Friday, and these are these IXL assignments. Most of the kids have dealt with IXL before. It's an online program. They they basically answer questions and then they earn points, and they have to get up to a certain point value. So for the honors pre-calc class, they have to get up to 70 points, but the extra bonus is that if they can get up to 90 points on any topic, on any assignment, I'm going to give them extra credit. And that's huge, right? Um, that's for any topic. So when students come to me and they're like, Mr. Beatty, what can I do for extra credit? And it's, 2 minutes before grades close. Well, that's where the answer is. Like, how many IXLs did you do for extra credit, right? So, um, every single IXL topic can be done for extra credit. So, aside from math, personal goals, I want to build relationships with my students. I want to make sure that they know that I'm a human being and that I, don't just like pull out a cot in the back of the room and this is where I sleep and this is all I do. Like I'm a person, I have a family um, and I love them dearly and I'm gonna talk about them every single day and um, I want to know about them too. I want to know what their experiences are like in math classes and I want to help forge those relationships because that's where they're going to open themselves up to me in a way where I can I can help them in the best way I can. Um, and then the other thing that I've sort of alluded to as one of my other um, like keys to success is that I want these students to be advocates for themselves. I want them to reach out to me on their own. I want them to, when they have a question, I want them to get it addressed immediately. Um, a lot of the times, especially in a math class, is I have students that will just let these questions fester. And what happens is that, you can't really let that happen in a math class because if you have a question on the first thing, then when you get to the fifth thing, it's going to be like that much harder. So I always tell my kids that, I hope to build that relationship with you so that way when those questions do arise, you feel comfortable enough to reach out. And it's a good life skill to begin with. Here's all my contact information. Here is my email address on the top. You'll see that that is my preferred way to reach out to me. Just email me. I do have my phone number there. That's fine as well. I'm not going to be as quick to respond with my phone number as I would my email. My website, that includes long-term assignments, other stuff like that. You can check it out. It's definitely not as robust as Schoology. Um, it's updated and it's good to go, but it has just sort of those boilerplate type things in it. Schoology is where you should go. Hack. like I said, Schoology has the most up-to-date grades and assignments hack you can go to, but ultimately um, that that grabs information from Schoology. So um, Schoology is going to have the information first. Okay, and then there's the Schoology page. Okay, so that is it. Have a great night, and reach out to me with any questions or concerns, and hope to talk to you soon.